Right, eyes. As I said, I'm recording it straight away. Still got my beard. I should have gone away and shaved. That would have foxed, wouldn't it? This is really woolly, ginger, grey. Anyway, right, eyes. I know this will be a quicker one actually. Um, this and it's another one I've not really played too much of. This first one. Are these in the right order? Yeah, 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 yeah. They are. Yeah, all in the right order. I've played a sort of decent enough chunk of this, but not off. Nowhere near completed it or anything. Or probably not even halfway. It's it's called Incredible Crisis. Sorry, it's it's a series of mini games. Really, it's it's a game that people often would refer to as typically Japanese. Which so many people seem to love in the UK. I mean, I'm one of them. I do like things that people would describe as typically Japanese, but I wouldn't necessarily be able to say what is typically Japanese. So I tickly nose. But it's got this. It's basically a series of mini games centering around this character. He's like, I've forgotten his name. He has got a name, hasn't he? No, I can't remember. He's like a sort of family man. He's a salary man, as they say in Japan. He's a salary man, and all of these mini games sort of revolve around him and his life. When I first played it, I remember it took me bloody ages to even do the first one, because the first one's like a rudimentary rhythm action game. Where you go to work with him, and you have to do exercises. You have to do exercises. You have to memorise. Yeah, you have to memorise the sequence and repeat them back. Button presses, and that don't know. For some reason, it just took me bloody ages. It really wound me up. But it's basically, it's wacky mini games surrounding this character and his family. But it's typically Japanese, as the people say. But worth buying actually. It'll give you a nice sort of variation on your collection if it's something a little bit different. And who's it by? Who's the Tokuma Shoten Hakuhodo Topan, apparently. So it's Incredible Crisis. Right, this one, I'm guessing for all the games I've got, this is probably right up there for real, actual, proper, long-term playtime. It's the classic International Superstar Soccer Pro. I think there was an International Superstar Soccer before this. It's probably the first one. This is an evolution of that. And then the one that came after this is International Superstar Soccer Pro 98 with Ravanelli and Tom Ince, Paul Ince on the front. And after that, it's the International Superstar Soccer Pro Evolution. And then Evolution 2 on the PS1, and then it became PS2. Which actually, the two Evolution games on the PS1 are quite collectible. You could easily pay over £5 for them on eBay. It's weird for football games. What's that about? Yeah, had this when I was at university, and it was my game. I can remember taking it to university and playing it with my mates, and then I was fucking hell. Sorry. Playing with my mates, I was the best at it, but then the more we played it, they got better than I did. It really wound me up. I like to play tiki taka, and then sort of I think one of my mates in particular liked to basically hog the ball and just sort of twine up the pitch, and that really irritated me because he used to beat me, bastard. But no, that was in the first year. In the third year, we went for a stage of playing the whole league. You can play 4-player league. I had a multi-tap, and we played a 4-player league. We start off with this really shit team, and then the more you have to win games to win points, and then you can spend points on other players, and it becomes easy from that point on. It's actually really satisfying to go through a whole league because the team you start off with is so shit. They're just rubbish. But to actually win a game takes a lot, and it's just mind blowing. I remember the first time we won a game, we celebrated so much. It's amazing. But it's obviously it's like an arcadey. It's like the arcadey counterpoint to FIFA on the PS1. I much prefer this one. I think a nice not evolution. What's the word? It's like a technological evolution. What's the word for technological evolution? Whatever the word is, the a nice. Oh, it's gone. Is the through ball. It was a nice technological development. No, that's not the right word. But yeah, the through ball. It created a nice whole new angle for the game. It you know it made the games feel fluid and sort of quite realistic. You can play those. Passes weren't always sort of ballooned off in one direction or to feet. I suppose it'd be slower than FIFA, wouldn't it? But yeah, four player seasons are great. 4 player games. You all play on the same team. It's mental because you all end up down one end of the pitch. If they're all attacking, you all end up down one end of the pitch. It's not not always on the screen at the same time, but really good fun. Not played it in a long time, but I imagine it's still pretty good fun. But obviously it's just going to look dated, isn't it? And it's got some weird, no real character names. So they didn't have the licenses, did they? But yeah, I've got a lot of really good memories of this. I think actually, yeah, the names were sort of weirdly based on actual people. The players were based on actual people, just sort of slight variations. I remember the guy. There's a guy who played for Cameroon. The real guy was Patrick and Bomber, and there was another guy who played for Cameroon, and he was white. So obviously that's that was just some sort of weird, odd anomaly. It was quite funny, but yeah, ISS Pro, the original. No, not the original. Right, last one. Like the H is only 3. Oh, it's getting dark. In the Hunt. Shooter, side-scrolling shooter. This is probably my best ever charity shop score because it's pretty tough to get hold of, and I'd been fighting around for a long time on eBay trying to get hold of it and bidding on it, and they turn up every so often on auction. They're more often than not they're going to be high-priced buy it nows and overpriced buy it nows, and so they really don't often turn up on auction. And I've been fighting around for a long time and missing out. Went to the charity shop one day, and I think I bidded one on in recent days before. Went to charity shop in my hometown one day, and there it was. It was just mind blowing, how that sort of worked out. But side-scrolling shooter by the same people who do a Metal Slug, and it's got that sort of Metal Slug, pardon me, cartoony aesthetic, I suppose you'd call it. It's pretty unique when it comes to side-scrolling shooters because it's not sort of all about proper balls out speed. Balls out, is that the right term? I'm not proposing you play it with your bollocks hanging out, no. But it's not about what's the word? Full on adrenaline. It's always, I don't know. You can always sort of pick your way through it because it doesn't. I don't think it doesn't scroll naturally, does it? I can't remember. But you can attack enemies in the air because you're a submarine, you've got there's the sort of the top of the water and enemies come at you from above. So you have like these sort of surface to air torpedoes or missiles. You have depth charges you can fire. And you have torpedoes. You can sort of pick your way through the game. It's really intense, but it's not sort of really fast. There's a lot on the screen at a time. I think the Saturn version suffers from a lot of slowdown. This one, surprisingly, especially when it comes to 2D games, is the better version. There's not so much slowdown, which is great. Cartoony, I really highly recommend this, especially for sort of retro game enthusiasts and fans of shooters, because it's a nice sort of change of pace from the standard sort of shooter. It's almost not so much tactical in that sense, but you can, like I said, you can pick your way through it because it's not so fast. I mean, it might, in that sense, it won't be for everyone, but yeah, imagine like a submarine-based shooter with the aesthetics of Metal Slug, and you're pretty much there with the same sort of sort of dramatic enemies, like over the top enemies and stuff like that. Yeah, probably right up there's one of my favourite PS1 shooters. This is In the Hunt, highly recommended. So there you go. Only three. I can show you this. I forgot to show you the H's, didn't I? So there you go. In the Hunt, ISIS Pro, and Incredible Crisis. So yeah, another over 10 minutes shit. Right, what's next? J's. There's a few more J's, so that'll take a little bit longer. They'll be along in a few days, so keep an eye out for them. And thanks for watching. See ya. See you later.